Hey, I'm Alex, and I went ahead and did my third day project on How to Be Interesting by Jessica Hagee. I feel like it's a pretty good book, and she makes a lot of great points. I went ahead and highlighted a couple chapters that I wanted to go ahead and do, and along the way I went into pictures and videos to kind of show you guys my progress. Before in the past, I felt like I did cool things, but not necessarily made me an interesting person. And I hope that this book may change some things. I'll let you guys be the judge of it, but I really hope you guys enjoy. So the first chapter that I went ahead and did was Share What You Discover. So my girlfriend Hannah and I, we went ahead and took a little day trip. We drove all around Lake Pleasant into Scorpion Bay and Castle Hot Springs. And after a lot of driving, we decided that we would go ahead and have lunch at Rock Springs Cafe. Considering that we've both never eaten there, it was a totally new experience for both of us, and I felt like overall it was awesome. I mean, the food was pretty good, and in the back they actually had this really cool wedding area and bar it was really beautiful and had a lot of great green scenery, and overall the weather was nice, and I would totally do this again. This chapter also has a part 2. So for anybody that doesn't know, Krispy Kreme's just opened up a new location on 51st and Bell, and their grand opening day was St. Patrick's Day. So I went ahead and I got a dozen donuts because they had a special going on, and I actually shared it with my family. And it's pretty awesome too because we haven't had Krispy Kremes and I can't even tell you how long. So I went ahead and shared my new discovery, which is I love Krispy Kreme donuts. I mean, who doesn't? This next chapter was probably my favorite chapter of all of them, Grow a Pair. So Grow a Pair is basically getting out of your shell and doing something that you wouldn't normally do because you might be scared of it or because it may be intimidating. But I think what I did was pretty, not necessarily scary, but it took a little bit of overcoming to go ahead and do. So over spring break, my cousins and I, we actually went to iFly, and it was their first time, and it was also mine, and I can say that it was pretty cool. Indoor skydiving. Would I do it again? Yes, 100 times yes, I would totally do it again. I would recommend it to anybody, and it's so fun, so exhilarating. It takes a lot of control and getting used to. I'm sure with a lot of practice you become great at it, but here's a clip of me doing okay, so don't laugh too hard. Just an FYI, the wind inside the tunnel is moving right around 83 miles an hour, and that's the perfect amount for me to reach terminal velocity and essentially hover in air. The next chapter that I did was Go Exploring. I had a lot of fun with this one because myself and a family friend, we both went off-roading. The trail that we went on was called Crapshoot, and it was over in Taylor Mesa area. I promise you this is a lot steeper than it looks in the video, but it was this probably could have fallen under the Grow a Pair because this was pretty scary. This is a solid granite slope right here with very loose top dirt. I gotta say it was scary, but it was really rewarding, and it was awesome to go out in nature while in quarantine, of course, but it was awesome to go out and see all the greenery, a little bit of wildlife, and just overall to have fun and go somewhere not many people have been. This truck is definitely built and not bought. Those are 35 BFGs on a 4-inch suspension lift. If this video looks steep, that's because it was. Going down this decline was actually very fun. I had no concerns of slipping or sliding. I had traction all the way down, but it was definitely interesting not being able to see all the way around you, considering that I was nose down, but it was definitely worthwhile. Found this abandoned Jeep on the trail. After the trail, I had some carnage on my truck, but I went and got it all cleaned up. She looks really nice, really beautiful. This chapter is different from the rest of them. It's about having a cause and a motive. It's not about doing something adventurous. Our cause was to escape from quarantine from a little bit. Here, we went out on Lake Pleasant. We had some very nice street tacos. We parked next to the water, had a beautiful sunset, and we enjoyed each other's time and was able to escape the reality of what's happening in today's world just for a little bit. Give It a Shot was probably the longest chapter that I've done yet. So it started off by me purchasing a visor and putting it on my truck. So I bought all the materials, the paint, the primer, the clear coat. Had to buy a new compressor, had to buy an air gun, and here I am starting all the prep work to get the visor all very nice and show worthy. If you're curious as to what I'm doing, I'm sanding down the fiberglass that's there. It was very rough and it needed to be clean. And I was actually gonna resin the inside of this so it looked very smooth and even. After the fiberglass has all been sanded and cleaned, I'm gonna go ahead and start applying the resin. This is me mixing it right here. In case you don't know what resin does, it essentially makes a very hard surface, almost like rock hard, and it allows for it to be very flat, even, and smooth. So that was me spreading and brushing on all the resin, and the reason why is because you can see this fiberglass is very rough, and I wanted this very smooth surface. Here was the first half that I did. This is all of it, and this is all the fiberglass and resin that's been sanded. Next, I went ahead and started on the top side by removing a lot of the old paint. The old paint was this, you can see, champagne color, and the original color was maroon, like you can see, and the champagne paint wasn't holding very well, so I went ahead and took all of it off so I could have a very nice adhesion and bondage when I went ahead and primed it. So here I am using just an Orbital sander to knock it all off, and I go back by hand, like you can see, and just get the rest of the little nicks and crannies and corners, stuff like that. This is the finished product of it after all the sanding. This is a little bit of filler to fill all the little holes. And this is me priming it right here. So the process is you got to clean it very, very thoroughly before you can lay any type of primer, paint, sealant, anything. So I'm going ahead and tack lock the entire thing down like you can see me doing. And that's just to make sure that there's no oils or dirt, anything that can contaminate the primer on the surface. Here I am filling up the gun, getting it all ready. The first thing that I'm spraying is called an etching primer, and that basically etches into the surface and it creates a chemical bond between the visor and the primer. Very, very strong. Here's the visor after a high build primer. After a lot of sanding and body work and all of that on the visor, I went ahead and started spraying the blue. I wish I had a video of me spraying the very first drops of blue on there, but I don't, unfortunately. So this is a video that my mom took of me spraying the backside blue. fly landed in my paint job, so here we are using a needle just to try to get it out as carefully as we possibly can and not to affect the paint. After everything was painted and clear coated, here's the finished product. You can see how clear and clean that looks. Here's the lights in there. Now this is the mounting phase. I had to drill 12 of these holes into my truck. I know, very cringy when I first had to do it. The final chapter that I went ahead and did was Ignore the Scolds. I thought this was actually kind of a rebellious, cool little thing we did. So this is my major, my RT instructor, and this is another guy from RTC. We went ahead and hiked Pius to a peak. And that was actually, it was more like a climb. It was very steep. And on top of the peak, we went ahead and epoxied down our coin. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I really hope that you enjoy it. Maybe you think I'm interesting, I don't know. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But I truly enjoyed making this project and filming all the different activities I did and going to all the different places. There's a lot that I wish I could have done, but due to the quarantine, it was a little hard, a little difficult to go out and find things to do. I wish I really could have done more, but I had fun with what I did. I hope you guys stay safe during quarantine and have a great day.